listed all the steps. The man at the store brought out a very thick book, which was full of different kinds of wallpaper. It had different colors that you could choose from, different patterns, even different designs. I was amazed while looking through all the different options. I asked the man at the store if it was possible to bring home a free sample, and that way I could pin it up on the wall that I wanted to put it on, and I could see if I could picture it in my house, and I could tell if I liked it or not. Once I decided the kind of wallpaper that I wanted for my room, I had to measure the walls of the room. I needed to measure the wall horizontally, so from wall to wall, and also vertically, so from the floor to the ceiling. Once all the measurements were done and had been taken, I had to decide how many walls I wanted to put wallpaper on. If I wanted to put it on just one wall in the room, or two of the walls, or all the walls. The room wasn't a large room, but it wasn't small either. It was just your standard sized room. So because of that, I decided to just put it on one of the walls. I thought that would be plenty. I made a trip back to the store and I told the man that I had decided to put one wallpaper on just one wall and I gave him the measurements I had taken. He wrote down for me that I needed four different things. I needed a squeegee, I needed a plum, which I stopped him and asked, "What's that?" And he told me that it's a long string, and at the bottom of the string is a weight. And I also needed a sponge and paste. The man asked me if I'd ever put wallpaper up before, and I told him, "Oh no, this is my very first time." So he made sure to tell me that the process of putting on wallpaper requires two people. The man and myself laid wallpaper out on a really long table so I can measure out what I needed to bring home. And I learned that you're supposed to allow yourself 6 inches more on both the top and the bottom than what your measurements showed. So the measurements that I had taken for my walls, when you actually cut out the wallpaper to bring home, the top that lines up with the ceiling and the bottom that lines up with the floor should have 6 inches longer than what your measurements showed. And I didn't know why this was, and the man told me that it's because once you put the wallpaper on the wall, then you're able to cut the excess paper off the bottom, top and bottom, and that will give you a nice clean cut. So the plumb that you're required to use now comes into play, and what you do with that is you nail it into the wall with a very small nail. Nail it into the wall that you put the wallpaper on, and that way, when you put the wallpaper up close, you think, oh, it looks great. But when you take a step back and you line it up, you're able to line it up with the string of the plumb that hangs in front of it. You're able to notice the unevenness, or maybe the wallpaper is on a slant, and the string of the plumb that hangs next to the wallpaper. That's what helps you realize that the wallpaper maybe isn't as straight as you think it was. So that's what the plumb is for. Since I wasn't sure what the squeegee was used for, the man told me the purpose of that is to squeeze out all the air bubbles that sometimes get in between the wall and the wallpaper. So to avoid the bubbles being left in there, you take the squeegee and you firmly press it up against the wall that you would put wallpaper on, and you move it up, down, all around so you can squeeze out all the air pockets. And this will make the wallpaper flat up against the wall, and it'll look clean and neat.